Joe Loco, welcome back.
¿Qué pasa, amigo? ¿Cómo estás?
Good to see you, man.
Good to be seen.
Yes, good to be back. We're gonna jump right in. You did a lot of sharing last time you were with us, and we really appreciate that. So we don't want to. We're gonna plow some new ground.
All right.
You did a lot of sharing your story. So here's the first question I have with you. You've been through a lot. What about your journey, your story, as you sit with us today? How are you better for having been through all the shit you've been through? How are you better? How are you better? You've been through a lot. So how's it made you better?
Let me pull out my little engineer slide.
Okay.
Get my little metric here. Where am I better? I don't lie as much. I don't steal as much. I don't purposely try to predator on people. I'm considerate of other people. I am able to weigh in the consequences of my decision and how that might impact those people around me. I'm not the human wrecking ball I was prior to recovery. So those are a few areas that I've grown up in.
Let me push you a little further on that.
I'm not the center of the universe. I got fired
Really?
from God's director.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
I'm no longer running the universe. I let that shit go.
There's a one inside out there, huh?
Yes, there is, and one's born every minute.
I hear you, and that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I want to go a little further in this direction though, but because of what you have been through, how are you better? In other words, I'm not looking for what you don't do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for what the quality of wouldn't change given where you are now. I'm having so much difficulty. Given what you've learned, how you've grown, in terms of what you said, in terms of you used the word growth.
Yeah.
How has your experience made you better?
You're talking about, I call it the train wreck. How have I emerged from the train wreck better? More compassionate for other people who are having train wrecks. I have some skills now on how to survive a train wreck, how to rebuild your life around your train wreck, how to take a picture of your train wreck, post it on the wall, and not be afraid to show everybody what you survived. Finding joy in the train wreck, finding out that even though the train went way off the rails and shit got hurt, damaged, but the community got burned up, going back into that train wreck and finding salvageable goods that I can distribute to others.
Share some examples.
Salvageable
That's
goods.
So share some examples of
Part of the train wreck, in my train wreck, was I nuked my family. I nuked my wife and my daughter.
What is it?
Nuked, like dropped a nuclear bomb on them. Nuked. N-U-K-E-D.
I know literally.
I nuked their lives. Think of Hiroshima or one of those places. That wasn't nuclear, atomic. It was atomic, but it creates devastation in their lives.
So how did you devastate their life?
Betrayal with my ex-wife. Gaslighting, mental abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse. You can believe that one. Treating them like prisoners. Same thing to my daughter. Just trying to push her under my thumb and control who she was going to be. Role-playing God in their lives as though I knew all the right moves for each one of them at each point along their lives. And making a total mess out of my life and theirs. And I stole a decade, 13 years from my now ex-wife. Just stole that from her. Built up on lies, deceit, delusions of grandeur on my part, which were forcing her to role play a delusion of lesser than, dehumanizing something. That was the train wreck. What was the salvageable part from that? I don't always know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I damn sure know a lot about what does not work. I laugh because I go in and they'll have a decision to make, and they call me in and they say, "Go ask what we ought to do." I said, oh, fuck, man, I would do this, this, and this, and so-and-so. And that's like, okay, we're not gonna do those things. So I knocked like the top 8 things they should not do. And then we get down to maybe whatever's left is probably the right thing to do. I'm real good on generating ideas that are gonna devastate people's lives and business enterprises and all of that. I have a knack for picking that shit out. Especially if you get my first top 5 answers, they're always wrong and they're always gonna cause harm.
What do you think? Where's that come from? What's that?
Oh man, I don't know where that comes from. My first thoughts are always wrong. It's my reaction, probably because it's a reaction from fear, selfishness, self-preservation, and I don't have time to consider the other people around. I don't value the people quickly enough. It's self-preservation probably. My first thought is, how am I going to get through this? And that results in bad decisions for everybody around me. It's selfish, I suppose. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So the wreckage, the devastation, in terms of, you're saying in terms of what has come, what's better on the other side of all this wreckage and devastation, what you've learned from.
Yeah, man, my progress in life, my progress in recovery, almost every time that I move forward is a direct result of something stupid I did. I seem to grow a portion of my own stupidity. I make these big-ass horrible decisions, but they hurt deep enough and long enough that I remember to not repeat that again. And then I grow a little bit.
Let's stay there. Okay. So, why do you continue to do that if you really learn and grow? Why do you continue to you said the top 5 answers? Why is the first thing always these negative things if you grow? Why does that still happen? Why do you think you still initially come with the devastating, selfish, whatever, if there's growth? So I'm kind of pushing back. I'm not buying that shit. As you can see, I'm not buying that. So smarter. Yeah, you gotta come better on that one. I'm not quite feeling that.
Man, I guess what I hear, the reasons, original sin. Okay. We're born with a fallen nature. Okay. I'm hardwired to fuck up, and it takes supernatural grace to raise me up from that hardwired fucked upness. St. Augustine said it way better than I'll ever say it.
Okay. Let's throw out the theological bullshit.
I wish it was bullshit.
Okay.
I wish it was bullshit.
Okay.
Those bullshit artists changed the world with their tidbits of wisdom about original sin and the cause of all of man's frustration.
But we're just dealing with you, Joe. Okay. So
unfortunately, truth doesn't discriminate.
What would you not, given the devastation caused in the lives of your ex, your daughter, but what have you learned that you wouldn't trade? As painful as that is, you wouldn't trade, you wouldn't give it up. What have you learned you wouldn't give it up based on what you've learned? What is that? What is that?
I think for me, the train wreck has burned up all the altars of my false gods. Okay. And the direct result of the train wreck, all the altars have been burned, and I only have one. I don't think he's a false god anymore. I think he's my real God. And every time I worship, and worship means more than just going to church and getting on knees. When I worship my God with all my heart, mind, body, soul, morning till nighttime, I have beautiful days and beautiful results. Great things happen for me. Love happens for me. And I think last time we talked, I want love in my life.
What are some of those false gods? What words again that you believe?
Oh man, false gods. Probably the power. Oh yeah, I'm trying to organize them in order. Where do they start? Power is probably one of them. The idea that I can gain power by way of intellect, academic credentials, positions in corporations or in military organizations, or just hanging out with buddies and friends, there's always this element of desire for power over, so that then I might have some crazy sense of control over other people's lives. It's insanity. That's one of my gods.
And stay there. That's a false God.
For me, it is.
Oh, it's been false.
It doesn't work out for me.
What's better now on that? Still power. How are you better without real power?
I don't have to have power. I can love people where they are. They do not have to move, change, be, think, do anything different. I can just love them exactly where they are in that present moment at that particular time and place. I don't have to have power. I don't have to manipulate, change, alter, redirect. None of that stupid crap. So that's got
You
me.
better.
I don't have to worship there.
What's the second one? For the second
Man,
false
I'm
God?
gonna probably put sex on there.
Okay.
It's like I say, worshiping at the Church of the Open Legs. That was the favorite place on earth for me. Sex gives me some chemistry in my brain that I dream about, I desire, I crave, I want. More than water sometimes, I think. More than air sometimes. It's like, you can breathe for a day or go get laid for 15 minutes. Fuck it. Get laid, man. We'll breathe later.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
It's everything for me. Like, everything else on the table or sex. Fuck it. Sex.
Sex. Yeah, got you. Okay, so stay there for a moment. Give me an example then. How did that play itself out? What's the example then? What's the worst thing you did in terms of that those decisions you made right there? So give me an example of the instance of that. When you everything on tape, you put
Oh
everything
man, you
in.
got that word worse. So now I'm
Yeah.
having to measure.
Okay. An instant where you threw everything off. Everything was over here and sex, and you chose sex. What was it? Give an example. What's an instance? A situation with that.
Probably one that I'm regretful of, that I wish I would have done, because I really didn't know at the time what the hell I was doing. And that's going to pay for sex, going to pay in a building where I really thought these girls were here to make money. And I thought, man, they're such good girls. They're here from Mexico or South America, and they want to be here, and they want to make the money. And I'm thinking they actually get to keep the money. And even asking them, they're like, yeah, we send money home. And I'm buying that hook, line, and sinker. Like, well, I'm kind of a little bit of a hero because I'm supporting them, you know.
Right.
Me and my buddy say all the girls we put through college, you know, that was our joke. We're paying for their college at the strip clubs.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the things where, because I was worshiping my sex god, I really don't give a shit about those people. I didn't even bother to research into the validity of that delusion. I needed to believe that they wanted to be there and that my money was really genuinely going to support their families in Mexico. And that makes me a good guy.
Wow.
Yeah. Really believe that.
Yeah, that's pretty delusional. So what's better now?
You know, there's a lot of guys that are still believing that hook, line, and sinker, and I'm one breath away from turning it back on and saying, you know what, maybe I'm wrong about this, and that I do need to go give them some of my money. I'm one breath away from that thought.
What does that mean? One breath away. What do you mean?
I have not grown up so much that I'm consistent in all of my thoughts and or beliefs and values. I can switch on a dime, and it doesn't hard to take anything.
So next week I might see you at the club.
Yes, it can happen to me. I've had relapses with the sex god. I like the sex god. He comes along, she comes along, and offers me the world. And I get on my knees and worship sometimes. And I believe in the phenomena of craving set off as an allergy. I think that there's a first drink equivalent to my sex. It starts just with a small, lustful looking, sometimes at HEB, if I'm going down the wrong aisle for too long for the wrong reason. In a second, I can go from wanting just that little bit to fuck it. Go back to the bars, go back to the whorehouses. It happens to me I get drawn in that quickly. Original sin.
So we ain't going there. So it's better now. So are you saying that's still that can happen? I mean, is that done?
I don't think it's done.
Okay.
I want it to be done.
Okay.
I don't think it's done. I think I'm being naive if I think it's done.
So that would
because of the relapse.
Okay.
Relapses.
Okay. What's number 3? That was 2. Power, sex. What's 3?
Money, but money's power a little bit. But money was a different flavor of power.
Different false. We're talking
Ultimately,
false gods. So
yeah, false gods. It's going to give me something. I thought money would give me something that it can't give me. I thought if I had enough money, where I could buy love, but I found out I really can't buy love. I can buy some of the things that look like love. I can pay men, women to hang out with me and give me sex. I can direct them to, I don't just want sex, you need to make me laugh. You need to make this feel authentic. And there's plenty of people that will play the role for you for the right amount of money. But there's something in me that recognizes it's not authentic. And man, they can be some really good actors that will go way out to try to fulfill your every wish to make you feel like it's real, but it's not real. I think at the moment of exchange, when I give the money for it, then it slips into inauthentic and becomes that transactional. I just paid you for that crock of shit. It's good, a good crock of shit. And I loved it while I was in it. God damn it. When I give you the money, the delusion ends.
How does money, in terms of this false god around false altar of money, how did that define you? How did that make you? What did that do for you to make you feel about you? What did money do for John to make John feel? How did
money made me cut grass for people. I wanted money. I didn't have money. They had money. I'd cut their grass. I'd go give up my afternoons after school. I'd go sack groceries.
When you get money? What does money make you? How does money make you feel about you? What is it?
I mean, I love money. I guess it's
because I know you can get to get sex with it.
Money makes the difference between staying at Motel 6 or one of the Hiltons or the Omni.
Is that important? Is that for you important?
Yeah, I like the finer things in life.
Okay.
I like all of that stuff. I like pleasure and I hate pain, and money allows me to experience more pleasure than pain usually. And it can buy me out of trouble. It can do all of those things for me.
Do you feel more important because of money? Does money make you?
I've never had that much.
Okay, so we don't know yet.
Don't know.
Could be.
I do believe that if I had hit a lottery during my drunken days, I would be dead. I don't think I would have survived $10 million. Almost on purpose, probably. I'd have been flying to the Philippines and Thailand and all over the place looking for sex and crazy adventures and fun things to do. I wouldn't have lived.
Okay. So money, it's not a. Some people it's a status symbol. They want it to feel important, to feel better about themselves. It sounds like you want it to do shit with. You want the money.
So, yeah.
You want it you'll blow it. You're not gonna sit on it and look at me. I'm
and I don't like fancy watches or fancy shoes or fancy clothes.
Yeah, you just want to get it and burn through it.
I do like fancy cars and fancy women.
Yeah.
Fancy restaurants, fancy hotels.
Right.
I like all that.
Yeah.
But I'm having to sell my soul to get money.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about that.
Yeah. We also talked about, you were talking about Tony Montana and Scarface and the coke on but for you, money has that. It's stacked up and you just want to blow through it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to snort it. You just want to.
I do, but I also have the delusion that if I was sitting on, I don't know, 9 or 10 zeros in my bank account after the one, I got this delusion that if I had X number of dollars in the bank account, then I would feel happier, more secure.
Okay.
So it gives me a false sense of security.
Okay.
What is it? How does it say that?
Okay.
It's not going to add another minute to my life, no matter how much money. I've seen rich people die. I've seen rich people blow their brains out. It doesn't seem to give the promises that I attach to it. Maybe it works for other people. It just does not work for me.
So how you better now on money? So don't like before and after. So better.
I don't know
So-
if I'm better. I'm getting better.
keep it real now.
I'm getting better.
You're getting better.
In the meantime, I continue to look for nice bridges to live on in the event I don't have money.
Just in case, right?
Yeah, just in case. Keep my options open.
All right.
I still like money. I just don't know that I worship. I'm having a big problem with money. And that other guy that says you can't serve me and money, from whom the rich man walked away because he had too many possessions. I relate to that guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Jesus said straight out, you can't have your possessions and be my disciple. Make up your mind, Joe. Like, I'll call you later. I'll call you later, Lord. Let me go see if I can burn through some of this money. I don't have the money. You know, I don't have it. I wish I did, but I don't. But that was a false god. So power, sex, money, probably fame, which is accolades.
So you used to be
my fellow man's recognizing me.
That used to be important to you?
Yeah, not so much anymore. In fact, the more that I'm able to do things like that whole 3 things anonymously, you're supposed to do 3 kind things without getting caught. I've known that for like 9 years, and I have not done that one day. 9 years, and I don't have one day where I've done 3 good things without getting caught. I still need to attach my damn name so that somebody sees me doing something good. Hey, look what Joe did. I heard somebody's talking in a room about it. They got the baskets coming around, and they want to purposely try to hide the 20 they're putting in there, but just enough so that they can get caught hiding the fact so that they can be thought of as humble. And I would do something sick like that. We try to fake like I'm being humble, but make damn sure somebody saw me being humble. Sick, right? Retarded, man.
Keep it real.
Sad. Sad. I'm gonna blow your theory away that I'm better, huh?
Yeah. You said it, I did. Gifts and faults. So we're just talking about in terms of having been better.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
You've shared a lot, Joe. So and you really laid out, your story and where you've been on this journey. Is there, from even whether it's the idols of money, sex, and power, whether you want to use that or even your interest in fame, but is there a good side to any of these shortcomings of yours? Is there something positive that has come of I mean, you own what you have, you're working on them, you point to some of the better aspects of it. But is there a good side to the fact that you have in these shortcomings, that you've, in your journey, been able to identify something that is some good that's come up?
I don't know. Maybe like a bug that's going to the light, and he gets burned up in there, and all this other bugs like, let's don't go to that light. Maybe I'm the bug flying in the light getting burned up, and people just say, don't do that. I like to think that I can tell you what not to do. Does that help?
Oh, do you?
Because you know what? There's a lot of stupid bugs flying right into the lights, just like mine.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so. I think I can probably help some guys, gals.
But do you? Are you doing that? Are you active? Is that something you've taken on? Are you doing that?
I do. I wake up and try every day.
Well, tell me about that.
Yeah, I go to phone meetings, regular meetings, all day long. I'm handing out my business cards, asking if I can be of service to somebody. I met a guy today doing a job for him, and he was talking about his 18-year-old son, and then he's got another kid that just came out of the Air Force. I was in the Air Force, and he was talking about this kid cannot seem to find the handle on life on what he wants to do. Well, because I'm looking for my handle on life and what I want to do, I just happen to have, for free, no charge, in my pocket, like 5 or 6 psychological exams that will help you determine some of your strengths and skills that you can have. I think it's insightful. It may not tell him exactly what he needs to do, but it might give him some intel on what he's good at, what he might want to do. I kind of think those things help. And that's part of my journey that I love giving that stuff away. It's helping me. I'm not there yet. I've just been offered a new test. It's supposed to help me with the job. I'm trying to find spiritually sustaining income revenue. I think that I want to find a way that I can use my gifts, talents, treasures, and the things that bring me joy to get paid. I haven't been doing that. I've been prostituting myself, selling myself to oil and gas companies by the hour, thinking that if I get more money, I'll get more happiness, but it's just not adding up.
What are those gifts, talents, joys? What are they? What are your talents, joys?
God dang, man.
Well,
Till you asked, I thought I had some. Let me see. What is my? I don't know. What is my?
Well,
gift?
let me throw some at you. Don't you sponsor people?
I do sponsor people.
What is that?
Man, somebody told me sponsor. The real answer I'm supposed to take through the 12 steps of AA. Another answer that I've been given that I like better than that one is I'm like a guide in the jungle, and I got there first, and I know where all the dangers lie, and I know where some of the good things are at, but I don't know where everything is at. So I can be of service, especially when they first come in. I know my way around a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So isn't that a gift? Isn't that a gift of your faults from the standpoint of if you hadn't been in that jungle to begin with, if you hadn't gotten there first, could you do that?
Yeah, I think it's a gift. We were talking earlier about prisons, dungeons, and trying to escape, and not realizing that the whole time I've got the keys to everything. That's an awakening, that's an epiphany to realize nobody's got me locked in here but me. So when I set myself free and I start to regain new territory and develop and grow outwardly, I can now show other people how to do that. You know, it boils down, what do they say? You can't give away what you don't have, but when you do have it, you can give it away. So I've been able to get free from a lot of my prisons. I've broken out of a lot of them, not all of them. This money prison still has me, but I'm breaking out. I'm looking for the keys to that.
Do you think there's a specific purpose, calling, difference that you, Joe, can make in this world?
I don't think it's going to be significant.
What not? And all the shit you've been through, why not?
I'm mortal, just a mortal human being. I read a lot of people in history. No matter how bright their light shines, it's still dim, still a dark world. I start with Christ himself, you know, great, big, bright light. Didn't do everything he set out to do, not in his lifetime. It's still ongoing. There's other people who come along, big giants that we forget about. They're gone. They're here one day and gone the next. Abraham Lincoln, who cares? Some guy with a nice hat and a big beard and did a lot for our country, but who gives a shit anymore kind of thing? I mean, people follow. They're nice in the moment and then they fade away. So what am I going to, why would I be any different or any better? I won't be. It's not my world, it's God's world. I'm just going to play a little piece.
Right.
Of
But you can make a difference where you are, right?
I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
Maybe.
what about the people you sponsor? Aren't you making a difference in their life?
Not all of them, no. No, in fact, I'm batting about 100, 150. Yeah, a lot of strikeouts.
Okay.
Yeah,
More
more.
ones that you are helping. Aren't you making a difference? But
I think so. And I don't think it's me that's making
well,
the difference.
You're part of the difference that's being made. But more importantly, to what we're talking about here, it circles back to, as you said, in terms of the jungle, because you got there first. So if you hadn't gotten there at all, you couldn't be used. He couldn't use you that way.
Even if I was still acting out. And
If you were just still
drinking.
right, not if you were only acting out, not that you had, if you're still acting out, that's still where you were. You hadn't come into these rooms. You hadn't begun this journey, you hadn't begun to do the work that you're doing, you wouldn't be able to be of any use to those who are coming to the jungle, the same jungle that you've been in now, right?
I don't know, man. Let's see. I was trading in pain and hurt and misery back then.
Right.
So I was doling out pain and misery and hurt. That was my form of economics. That's all I had to give was pain, hurt, misery, darkness. Since getting into recovery, someone gave me a little bit of healing cash so that I could start doing business in the healing world. My sponsor reached out and saved my life and gave me some of those life-saving skills. So yeah, I'm using those now. I'm trading in that kind of merchandise. Hope, faith, courage, integrity, honesty, wisdom, all the virtues that I love. I can give those away now because I have some of them. They were given freely to me, and now I'm supposed to do the same thing. Yeah, it's a whole different economy. And that's not to say that the bad stuff I was doing, man, God can make good out of bad. So all those lives that I wrecked, like my life was wrecked, I know that in the end, God can turn them into good. He's doing it for me. He's doing it for a lot of us in recovery. He takes those train wrecks and somehow does magic, and next thing you know, he's got a beautiful train wreck. It's like those ships they sink out in the ocean. They sink them and they look like garbage until a few years pass by, and then apparently coral reefs grow up around them, and then they turn into these beautiful refuge place for all these fish to come and hang out at. And it's an ugly thing when it starts, but it turns out to be a beautiful thing. So I'm not 100% certain that all the bad shit that I did, that God won't turn it into something good. I'm a firm believer he's a magician somehow, and he turns bad shit into good shit.
What about trusting him?
What about it?
Well, you say you believe it. You can do that.
I think so.
Don't. Isn't part of what we're in order to be able to be used by a higher power, a matter of trusting that the wreckage isn't just wreckage, but somehow you call it magic, some people call it miracle, but if we trust and walk it out, that he can use it. It can be used.
I think so, yeah.
But we have to trust. Isn't part of what we're called to do. You asked a question about, we were talking earlier about badasses. And one reason why I want to talk to you, and I said this to you, the difference between a badass and a heroic badass is a matter of trusting that higher power to take the shit, the wreckage, the devastation, and be able to use it for good. That somehow that equation can be flipped, to be turned, right? I mean, that's to me, that's since we're talking about it, that's the difference between badass and heroic badass. It's a matter of trusting that all this devastation, wreckage that we cause, somehow that can be. Can you co-sign that? Do you agree?
I guess for me it's absolute 100%, almost scientific evidence that God is good. That only a force of such powerful good can do something like that. I don't know that I can do it. I don't know that I can take a mess and make it into a masterpiece. But God seems to do that.
But you and I, we are the mess that he's using to turn into a masterpiece for his.
Yeah.
Right. So, isn't that what this is about?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I like to think so.
Yep. I think I said last time, it's just trying to be the porch light that's left on so that if ever you want to come home, the light's on. If I keep my little light on, somebody might see it and say, hey, that looks like home over there. Let me go see. When I let my little light out, where are people gonna go, you know? I'm grateful for all the men and women who've gone before me. And there's countless men and women that have gone before me that, who have shared their experience, strength, and hope. They were willing to share their train wreck story so that I could relate to them and be infused with the hope that they had. One guy was talking about his divorce and how he had gone through divorce. I just got into recovery. I was miserable. I was not getting drunk, so I didn't have my pain medication. I was having to deal with life on life's terms, raw, feeling naked and scared. And this guy sitting behind me telling me about how he had got divorced and he lost his wife and his kids and they didn't like him anymore and they don't want to talk to him. And he's smiling when he's talking about this stuff and how he found a new wife and he's happy. And I'm turning around looking like, man, are you for real? Can you really tell me that you're happy after a divorce? I'm going through divorce right now and I'm miserable. I'm sick. I'm dying. And you're telling me you survived it. I don't believe you, number one. So I had to go chase him after the meeting and say, man, are you fucking with me? I thought the whole room was about me. I thought they were all telling stories for me, you know?
Right.
Just nuts. And he's laughing and saying, just keep coming back. Hang around. It's going to get better, Joe. Keep coming back. I couldn't disconnect his story from the real, genuine smile and joy in his face and his body. There was truth in that. You know, you have to be there to see it to believe it, kind of thing. If he didn't walk, if I couldn't see him walking the talk, I would have thought it was horseshit. There's no way that can happen. I was so hopeless at the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but today,
I have that hope. I have my little porch light on. I can talk to people about divorce. And you can get through divorce. You can get through betrayals. You can get through child abuse. You can get through incest. You can get through bankruptcy. You can get through anything. You can get through loss of job, loss of employment, loss of limbs. You can lose legs and still come out okay.
I don't see you lose your leg,
It's only mine for a little while, right? It's on loan.
keep coming back and telling that story. Keep that smile. It's infectious. All right.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right.